Red Blacks will get the football first as William Powell has dropped deep along with Quincy McDuffie. Riders swept last year's season series. Both went down to the wire, 32-30, 30-29. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but if the season ended tonight, this would be a Eastern Division playoff matchup. So a possible playoff preview tonight in Ottawa. And the Red Blacks will start at the 35-yard line after the return by Quincy McDuffie and led out by Ryan Lindley.
Yeah, there's the numbers. Couple of interceptions, no touchdowns. It was a tough night weather-wise against the Bombers, but Ryan Lindley dropped his first start to Winnipeg, 29-9. Over 12,000 yards passing, San Diego State University.
Got a couple receivers back in the lineup, and they start on the ground. William Powell is swung down by Samuel Aquavin after a short gain.
William Powell, maybe their best player offensively, along with Greg Ellingson the last couple of games. Back-to-back 100-yard games for Powell in that backfield. He gets some good blocking up front. Makeshift offensive line now. They've had a lot of changes. No Sir Vincent Rogers. They've had to move some people around. Evan Johnson's going to play that left guard spot.
Just one for Powell, so 2nd and 9, passing situation. 3-man rush. That ball tipped and should have been picked off. Aquavin unable to bring it in after the tip by Willie Jefferson.
Well, Jefferson's been all over quarterbacks all year. 7 sacks on the season, 26 quarterback pressures, and he's got the knockdowns as well. Just 3-man pressure, with Saskatchewan loves to do. They didn't blitz one time against Calgary last week. Just 3 or 4-man pressure all game long. See if they write up any exotic blitzes tonight. Not that time.
So Lindley fortunate. His first pass not intercepted. Maher with the kick, wind at his back. Christian Jones on the return, and he gets cut down. Dan West, the veteran out of Bishops, with a good play on the downfield cover team after a 49-yard punt. Here comes Kevin Glenn in pursuit of his 100th career win.
Yeah, 99, 102-1 for Kevin Glenn. He wanted just 8 players to get there. And close against Calgary. Low scoring, 15-6 loss. Was actually pulled at the end of that game. Brandon Bridge.
Glenn has lost his last couple of starts. Slant pattern early. Duron Carter's got the catch. Just 2 for 9 in his last 2 for Duron Carter since suffering an ankle injury.
Well, big game for Keenan LaFrance. Trent Richardson has been signed by the club. He's not dressed tonight, but LaFrance has that East final kind of game. He might hold off, keep that starting job. Needs some help up front from guys like Bruce Campbell.
Short yardage sneaked for the first down.
What a game.
First game back since that remarkable game in the snow, the game of his life in the Eastern final a year ago.
157 yards rushing in the snow against the Edmonton Eskimos in that final. 25 carries.
Glenn looked and now dumps it off in the flat to LaFrance, and he gets brought down quickly by Sherrod Baltimore. Ottawa D has been stingy of late.
Well, their leading sacker up front is Avery Ellis, but Zach Evans gets a good push in the middle, and Jonathan Newsom had that interception against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers when it slipped out of Matt Nichols' hands. The leader on the defense is Taylor Reed in the middle, and Sherrod Baltimore on the practice roster the first 4 games. Starting lineup again tonight.
Newsom pushes the pocket, but it comes out the flat for Bakari Grant. Stretches out there, and he's going to be close to the first down. Looks like he should have it.
Of course, no Naaman Roosevelt for the Saskatchewan Roughriders tonight. Roosevelt put on the 6-game injured list after the big hit he took in that Calgary game.
There is Roosevelt on the sidelines, placed on the 6-game disabled list. Doesn't mean he's there for 6. So Back-to-back first downs and a handoff inside. Here's LaFrance, and he gets driven back by former Regina Thunder defensive tackle Zach Evans.
You get a good push in the middle. Zach Evans gives this red-black team. That allows your defensive ends to get the one-on-ones. That's a pretty good play on first down to limit the game.
Evans fined for a hit last week on quarterback Matt Nichols. So 4 for LaFrance, 2nd and 6 from the Roughrider 54. Crosser for Grant, and McCurry Grant close to a first down. The safety Antoine Pruneau with the tackle. And for Bakari Grant, who came into the game 10th in the league in receiving, that's catch number 60 on the year.
Targeted 8 times last week. That was more than any Saskatchewan Roughrider receiver, and the reasons for that was Naaman Roosevelt getting knocked out of that game.
Spot leaves them a yard short. Offense stays on the field, and now the double tight end formation sent in with Spencer Moore and Darius Bladdock.
Now last week they started in punt formation, Saskatchewan, and tried to go for it on third down against Calgary. Didn't get there.
And they'll hand it off to France. He's got it. Deep handoff, but he's got plenty for the first down as he drives all the way to the red-black 45.
Could see Chris Jones last week when they tried to run the ball, which wasn't very often against the Stampeder defense, that he was quite frustrated that they weren't getting much production. But that kind of push up front and Keenan LaFrance moving the pile like he just did, he's got to feel better about that early in this game.
Well, this is different. Kevin Glenn stayed in short yardage. Now he's out. Vernon Adams is in. First down, and they hand it off to Antoine Grant on the ground. And he gets dropped at the 38, but 7 on a first down run by receiver Antoine Grant.
Well, Grant's got to be looking forward to this opportunity. Obviously, he doesn't want to see anyone get hurt, certainly not a teammate like Naaman Roosevelt. But this is an opportunity for him to step up, because Roosevelt in that spot is the #1 target, especially on second down for whomever's playing quarterback for Saskatchewan. Grant's going to be in that spot and a chance to get some of those targets.
Roughriders with only 16 points in the last 6 quarters, but good-looking opening drive here. 2nd and about 3.5. Pass caught. That's Grant in traffic in front of Winston Rose, the newcomer in that Ottawa secondary.
Well, early trust here. Kevin Glenn trusts him on the slant because it's well covered. And your quarterback's got to trust it. He took a peek. You saw Glenn took a peek to see what the coverage was. Rose closed quickly, but Antoine Grant used his big body to block out the defender.
10th play of the opening drive for Saskatchewan upcoming. First down inside the Ottawa 30. Glenn running out of time, and he gets dropped. Corner blitz from Corey Tyndall.
Corey Tyndall could run the corner blitz because his guy, the wide receiver, is Deron Carter. Deron Carter's in the backfield. So with Carter in the backfield, he just decided, I'm going to just go ahead and go and blitz Kevin Glenn on this one. And he gets him on the second try.
First sack of the season for Tyndall. Redblacks #2 in the league, combined sacks and pressures. 2nd and long, 3-man rush. Glenn taking a shot. Deron Carter intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Rose. And he brings it back to the 20 before tackled by Keenan LaFrance. First interception of the year for Rose is a big one to snuff the Roughriders' opening drive. Holds on to the football. Redblacks with it when we come back.
Boy, an outstanding play on the football by Jonathan Rose. Kevin Glenn's going to want this back, because if he throws it out in front of Deron Carter, Carter's in behind Rose with no safety help in the middle. But that ball thrown a little to the back shoulder of 89, and it allowed Jonathan Rose to break on it, cut underneath, and make a nice play on the football.
So the Roughriders had the ball for 6.5 minutes, but turn it over. Now Craig Ellingson, leading receiver in the league. 6 catches last week. Ellingson working against this Roughrider D, who have been stout of late.
They got to be patient because they're only going to rush 3 or 4. The key guy up front is Willie Jefferson. He's already registered 1 knockdown in this one. Enoch Mwamba leads the team in tackles in the middle, but Otha Foster had 2 big games last year against this Ottawa Red Black team. And Ed Gainey has been the playmaker in the secondary, but Creston Butler has quietly been their best cover man at the halfback spot.
2nd and short, handoff Powell. And he should be close to the first down.
So that's the key for this red-black offense now, is going to be to keep Powell involved. Back-to-back 100-yard games. He's been consistent. He's getting some blocking up front. Give this makeshift line a chance to fire off the football and go run block a little bit. And then Ryan Lindley is going to have to be patient. Take those 5-6 yard throws and hope his receivers can break 1 tackle. Saskatchewan's going to drop 9 a ton tonight.
See if they can open up holes for Powell with a very young offensive line without Sir Vincent Rogers. It's Powell here, left side. That's a big hole and more. Busts the tackle and gets across midfield. Pushed out at the Saskatchewan 47-yard line. That's a pickup of 32.
Isn't it interesting that as the frost gets on the pumpkin a little bit, we get to late September and early October, and all of a sudden all the teams in this passing game in the Canadian Football League are starting to run the ball a little bit more. 39 carries last 2 games for William Powell, and he's involved early again.
I think all the running backs are sick and tired of hearing about the year of the kid. And it's Powell again, ripping up more yardage down to the 32. Back-to-back first down runs for William Powell. This time it's 16.
Nice blocking up front. They're going to extend that line to the right of your screen, get some more bodies up front, and see how that offensive line can fire off and get down the field. Nice cutback lane for Powell.
So already, William Powell, 4 carries, 51 yards. We'll hand it off again until the Roughriders are able to stop him, and down to the 26.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's Jamie Elizondo, who has studied that Calgary film. In fact, back-to-back or 2 games against Calgary, Saskatchewan's defense. Calgary's run the ball over 50 times to Jerome Messam in their 2 games and been successful both times. You can bet that offensive corner Jamie Elizondo there is going to look at those films, especially last week, and say, we are going to run the football against this D until they stop it.
Takes a little heat off Ryan Lindley. 2nd and 5. 3-man rush. Lindley steps up, gets rid of it. It's caught. And trying to reach for the first down stick. It'll be a yard short on the catch by Powell.
Boy, that was a dangerous throw. Even though it was a short one, you get in trouble and you start to scramble to your right and then throw it across your body back to the opposite side as you're going down with defenders closing. You can get in trouble. He got away with that one.
Guavin hanging on to the jersey to prevent the first down. Now 3rd and 1. Off the right side, they should have it. First down.
Well, Lindley was the short yardage quarterback before the injuries to both Trevor Harris and Drew Tate.
Now 24 of 26. There's Harris on the sidelines. Matthew Shinetti will have an update on his status. Red Black team that averages 320 passing yards when Harris is in the lineup. Just 206 without him. First down around the red zone. And a handoff to Hardy in the backfield. And down to the 14 for 6 more.
So who is Ryan Lindley? San Diego State's all-time leading passer, over 12,000 yards and 90 touchdowns. That's also a record in San Diego State. A good football program there. Was drafted in the National Football League. Arizona picked him up in the 185th pick. Played in that playoff game against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. It was actually a close game. Numbers didn't reflect that at all, but
Ron Carter's checked in, looks one way. Wants Ellingson the other, can't hang on. Looked like he had Casey Rogers turned around there, but didn't make the catch.
Yeah, you know, he did, but Casey Rogers, even though he couldn't find the ball, he was careful not to screen Ellingson. A little bit of contact there. It actually hits him right in the chest.
So the field goal unit comes on. Drew Tate will be the holder.
Rick Campbell was thinking about challenging that. It's real early in this game to use your only challenge. They looked at it closely.
Yeah. So Maher from 21 out. And the REDBLACKS score first. Good drive on the strength of William Powell's running ability. And they get a field goal off the Jonathan Rose interception. Could have been more, but Ellingson can't hang on. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. So Jonathan Rose with the interception that ended a long Roughrider drive, and it results in 3 points the other way and a 3-0 Ottawa lead. With the customary green and white contingent.
Yeah. They're everywhere.
Riders start at their 35. Quick hitter, and that was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and looked like Jonathan Newsom got a hand on the football. Chris Jones looking for better protection for his quarterback tonight.
And first of all, we got to protect Kevin. So it's not all Kevin. It doesn't matter if you put Joe Montana in there. If you don't protect him and the defensive line's getting after him, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. So we've got to do a better job of protecting Kevin. We've got to do a better job of having a balanced attack, being able to run the football, putting Kevin in second and manageable. And if we do that, then Kevin can cut you up.
There's a loose football on the ground, and Ottawa has come up with it. Would have been short of a first down, but Bakari Grant fighting for extra yards, coughs it up. Let's wait and see if they are declaring it a fumble. It's going to be third down. They're saying Bakari Grant was down. Well, we might get a challenge about that. But now do you use your challenge if you're Rick Campbell? And he will. And
yeah, he doesn't want to.
I think you got it. You only get one, but yeah, he's going to win this and should have the football at the Roughrider 40. It looked clearly like a fumble. For Rick Campbell, unfortunately, he's got to burn his only challenge just to confirm it. We'll get the verdict when we come back. Waiting a verdict, and maybe a closer call than we first anticipated.
Well, first of all, Rick Campbell had to use his challenge because it was ruled third down and Saskatchewan was putting their punt team out there. So he had to burn that challenge. If it was ruled a turnover, they would have been reviewing it automatically.
After review, the ball carrier was encircled with forward progress prior to the fumble. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. It will be third down.
So basically, when forward progress stopped, and it can be just prior to the whistle as well. They basically are marking the ball, and then the play continues, and the ball came out afterwards. I'm not sure about that one. We can take another look.
Yeah, potentially a big play for the REDBLACKS turns out to be a loss of their only challenge. Deontay Spencer back as Josh Bartell will punt away on third down. Had to hurry the punt. Spencer at the 30. To the edge, it gets bumped up by Kevin Francis. See if they've got time for one more play in the quarter or not. It is the end of the first quarter. Rick Campbell still wants to talk about the ruling that Bakari Grant was encircled.
I don't know about that.
3-0 after the first quarter for the home side. Close game, the pointing. Number 2 in touchdown passes. Tied for second in passes of 30 yards or more. Powell with another big run on a terrific cutback all the way to midfield. And the Roughriders have an early problem in this game, and he's wearing number 29.
Yeah, and if he keeps this up, he's going to move from 5th in the CFL right up the ladder in a hurry. This is just a wide toss, get him out on the edge. Nice cutback. That's what he's been leaning on in this game, is that cutback lane. It's going to be pursuit angles for Saskatchewan to try and stop it. Pursuit from the backside.
Got a block from Brad Sinoplik, 6 carries, 73 yards. And after that 17-yard run to midfield, it's Powell again. A cutback again, and he's got 6 into Rough Rider territory.
Well, if Ryan Lindley can manage one here, and then they get Trevor Harris back next week, bodes well for Ottawa. Keep fighting for that playoff position, the 2 spots in the East. 320 a game, and you can see with and without him how those numbers drop off.
3 of the final 4 games against the West. Tough schedule to wrap it up, and they do feel the heat of the on-rushing Hamilton Tiger Cats. 2nd and 4. Short drop, quick hitter, and it's a first down catch. And there is Sinopoli down to the 41-yard line as he makes a leading 84th catch on the year.
Ryan Lindley recognizes the coverage, takes his step and his read, and delivers a strike. I know it's not a deep pass or that one of those over-the-middle shots that are a little more dangerous in the tight windows, but good recognition from Lindley there.
Play action fake, this time delivered low, intended for Jerron Kreiner. And we talked to the head coach about the man he is entrusted with the quarterbacking duties tonight.
He's a smart guy. He's played a lot of football, and he knows who he is, and he just needs time to develop and get used to the CFL game. There's not very many guys that can have as few reps as he's had in practice or in games, and it just automatically just happens. So he's a guy you definitely can tell that's going to grow by leaps and bounds the more reps he gets.
2nd and 10, he had an open man down the sidelines. Are they ruling it? They're going to say out of bounds for Dominic Rhymes back in the lineup along with Kreiner. And it's an incompletion, 3rd down.
Just a timing issue there for Ryan Lindley, because he had him open down the sideline and just waited a split second too long to deliver it. That allowed Ed Gainey to get back into the play. And there is the force out, but I think the opinion,
that was close, though,
was the opinion of the officials were that he was going to land out of bounds anyway without Gainey's help.
So Maher attempting a 48-yarder. 11 of 17 from beyond the 40 this year. Puts it up. It's wide right. And Christian Jones will bring it out. And Jones up to the 18-yard line before Nigel Romick brings an end to the return. So William Powell running well, but just 3 points to show for it for the REDBLACKS. Well, the Ottawa GGs and the entire football community in Ottawa mourning the tragic death of Loic Kayembe, defensive end for the GGs, earlier in the week.
University of Ottawa student, 24 years old. He was in the faculty of social science and member of the GG's defense, and passed away in his sleep. There'll be a ceremony before the game tomorrow against Carleton.
Our thoughts go out to the family and to, well, the extended football family as well. It's a tragic loss. A young guy who wanted to be a football coach, coach minor football this past summer, and his team won a championship and loved by all. Ettore Latanzio, a former GG, and the Panda game is such a for a different reason tomorrow. Second down, Glenn to the flat, the catch made, and a first down for Duron Carter. So did you sense he was still laboring with the ankle even last week?
Yeah, last week, just coming out of his breaks. He had that acceleration, he had the speed, the top end speed that we were used to seeing with Duron Carter. But just coming out of his break, you know, you have to take that extra jab step, that extra stutter step, and that allows the DB to get a little bit closer, but he's got another week of rehab behind him.
Kevin Glenn's 8 for 10 to start the game, has another completion here to Carter. And a flag down on this one. And also an injured Saskatchewan Roughrider lineman. That's Bruce Campbell, the left tackle. So Darius Bladdock will have to check in. And Campbell's going to need some assistance. And the officials sorting out what the penalty was on the play. And while they do all that, we'll step aside just short of the 4-minute mark, second quarter. Join us at halftime for the GMC Professional Grade Playbook. Tonight, Henry Burris on how defenses run the sting blitz.
So he's not talking the Robert Redford, Paul Newman movie. Not the musician.
So what is he going to talk about?
I think he's talking about the DB blitz sting.
Penalty was against Bruce Campbell on a hole. Here's a shot for Caleb Hawley, and it's a couple of strides too far.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's real windy, but it may have picked up over the last 10 minutes or so, because that ball sailed on Kevin Glenn. He had Duron Carter on the corner, and it just, you could see the tip of the ball got high, and then it sailed long and wide to get there. So it looks like it's picked up. It's behind Kevin Glenn right now.
Campbell injury creates some changes along the line. Dennis moves out to the left tackle. Peter Diakowski moves to the left side, and Bladdock goes into his spot at right guard. A lot of moving parts as they screen it to LaFrance. And with a block, he gets out beyond the original line of scrimmage, but will be short of the first down. A tackle by Keelan Johnson after 14 for LaFrance.
You got to believe the Manitoba product is just excited to have that big game. He was all smiles yesterday, remembering the big playoff game, as we've mentioned, but Keelan LaFrance needs a big one. Trent Richardson's going to pick up the playbook before long.
Spencer awaits, number 2 in all-purpose yardage, line drive away from him. And it will bounce down around the 15-yard line. Be a 5-yard no yards penalty as he is brought down by Glenn Love. 60-yard punt. 4 on the return. And a reminder, Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues later tonight. Second half of the doubleheader. Alouette Stampeders head-to-head. Catch the action after our game, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, across the TSN network. Nick Lewis back in Calgary.
We're talking running backs here in this game, and no Jerome Messam for Calgary there. The Montreal defense doesn't have to deal with the big tailback. Leads the league in rushing.
Here's Powell, right side. Up to the 26-yard line. contained that time, and Ryan Lindley will face a passing down.
You know, I mentioned in the Calgary game that when you play against a 30 front, 3 down line defensively, there are natural holes to run the football, but that isn't an excuse that you can't stop the run with a 30 front. You can see Chris Jones getting upset. He doesn't even like to give up a couple of yards or 1 yard on that first run. But
4 receivers wide side, looking that way. Open man, first down. It's Sinopoli with another catch. Up to the 52 and a gain of 26. For another former Ottawa GG.
I didn't see every throw last week against Winnipeg, reviewing that game, but I have to believe this is Ryan Lindley's best as a starter in the CFL, because he put it over the first layer, the first level, the linebackers, and in front of the DBs, right between the 8s. And Sinopoli
back into the hands of Powell, and he's across midfield before he gets driven back by Jeff Knox Jr.
A year ago, Ryan Lindley was helping 2 young players in their draft years with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. Both went 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. He was mentoring both quarterbacks, getting them prepared for their pro days and their draft interviews, and then went back to San Diego State while he was training to get ready for this Ottawa tryout. Went back to San Diego State, where Rocky Long, the former BC Lion, is the head coach there. And
that was one of your guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was a favorite.
2nd and 5. Looks to the near side. Caught by Kreider, breaks the tackle, and ducks back inside. Excuse me, that's Deontay Spencer the catch, and a first down.
Rocky Long was a good return man for the Lions, and DB Deontay Spencer is going to push the flat here. He's the underneath route. Another good throw, long throw. That's Ryan Lindley talked about before his first start. He only had really 1 full practice with the starting receiving corps.
So the Rider, little shovel inside. That's Lavoie, and that play was read well, and Lavoie stopped for a short gain on the tackle by Jefferson.
I was going to say Lindley went back to San Diego State to throw scout team and help out there with the young quarterbacks at the university level, but it was also good training for him. And so he gets this 2nd week of practice with guys like Greg Ellingson, guys he doesn't usually work with, because he's running scout team against the #1 defense in practice here in Ottawa until the injuries happen.
2nd down, he's got another connection, and it's Sinopoli again. Well, he's figured out that the guy to go to on 2nd down is the guy who leads the league in 2nd down conversion catches, Brad Sinopoli.
I'm going to ask you a question, partner, because I've been thinking about this one for a while now, for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Who's your outstanding Canadian in the CFL? Who's the front runner at this point in the season? There's a few.
Yeah, I can name a few. I'm not sure I can name one. Jet sweep. Spencer with it, and Aguavin will bounce him out after a short gain.
Well, Brad Sinopoli's on the list, but you take a look at top Canadians. Andrew Harris with his rush and receiving yard totals, 9 touchdowns and rushing yards for Messam.
So Harris could go 1,000, 1,000. Messam could lead the league in rushing. Singleton could lead the league in tackles. And Sinopoli leads the league in catches.
Well, there's only one guy out of the East in that group, too. So that gives Sinopoli an edge there to get to the finals anyway. But, boy, some great play, the skilled positions for some Canadians this year.
And for Ellingson, can't hang on. There is a flag down in the Roughriders secondary. There is a reason they call it the Canadian Football League, and it's great to see such star players at pivotal positions.
See what this call is. You know, Ryan Lindley's looked good on this drive. Ball placement.
Defensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 1. It's a 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Ball on the former Red Black, Javon Johnson.
Javon Johnson, the veteran, tied for the league in knockdowns, and he's wondering why. I'm not sure there was any contact as he came out of his break there. Ellingson looked a little awkward. They're down here at the bottom. When he came out of that break, a little bit of a grab. That's part of that.
Center screen, it hit an offensive lineman and falls incomplete. When it hit the back of big Alex Mateus, who's moved to the center spot in place of the injured John Gott.
Well, who was the screen man? I'm trying to find which receiver. I think it was Patrick Lavoie, the tight end from the back. Yeah, there's number 81. He was caught.
John Gott did have a catch this year. Maybe Mateus trying to match the guy he's replacing. Lindley now 4 for 5, 51 yards on this drive. 2nd and 10. Has some time. End zone. Open. Touchdown. Greg Ellingson.
All right, fans, go back to that 2nd down pass interference call on Javon Johnson. You know that because that was marginal at best, but Lindley, his best drive in the Canadian Football League, finishes with the touchdown to the number 1 receiver in the CFL in Greg Ellingson.
8th touchdown catch of the year for Ellingson. Offense stays on the field, going for 2. Double tight end formation. They'll give it to Powell. William Powell gets 2. 10 plays, 86 yards, and Ryan Lindley caps it with an 18-yard touchdown strike to Greg Ellingson. 11-0 Red Blacks. Late 2nd quarter.
Take a look at that touchdown, Greg Ellingson. He's going to run the wheel route over here with a post, and it puts Ed Gainey into a bind here. He's going to drop back into that deep outside 3rd. Now you've got 2 receivers, one going across his face that freezes him, and then Ellingson over there to the sideline in the corner of the end zone, and Ryan Lindley puts it right on.
More like a...
Only 5 for 6 on that drive, 69 yards. Capped by the Ellingson touchdown grab. Christian Jones with the Rough Rider return up just beyond the 35-yard line.
So we mentioned Lindley at San Diego State and that he was drafted in the NFL. Actually played in the NFL, got a few starts.
And this is his first NFL touchdown pass against the San Francisco 49ers.
Played in that wild card game in 2015. Started for Arizona. Had Larry Fitzgerald in his receiving corps at that time and lost to the Carolina Panthers in that game, 27-16. But looked good on that last drive.
Well, Kevin Glenn looked good early until the interception down around the goal line, trying to kickstart this Rough Rider offense that's gone quiet now. 16 points in almost 8 full quarters.
It looks like, Chris, that Bruce Campbell is back in at left tackle, so that shuffling up front goes back to how they started the game. Boy, one injury and they had to 3 guys move positions. Campbell back in.
Spencer Moore has checked in as Antoine Grant goes to the sidelines. 2nd and 2. LaFrance right side, and he came to an abrupt stop close to the first down. Sedarius Bryant was there. It is the first down as we hit the 3-minute warning. Rough Riders trying to play catch up here in the late stages of the opening half.
We're looking live through the glass at Matt Dunnigan. And there's Milt, and there's some other guy, and we're going to talk about that first half. They talked about the importance of Ottawa getting that running game going. They have. Ryan Lindley looks a lot more poised. 11-0 lead, 3 minutes to go. Let's head back to CC and Suits in Ottawa.
I think you're right. Interesting football game. And you get the sense this is an important drive here for the Roughriders. Late stages first half. There's LaFrance. Cuts it back close to midfield, up at the 54. And about 7 yards for the former Red Black.
Yeah, all of a sudden Saskatchewan offensively in a bit of a drought when it comes to the end zone. Came in, when you take a look at the overall numbers, 36 touchdowns scored by Saskatchewan. And Stephen White
tied for first in the league.
Exactly, but run a little dry of late. No touchdowns last week.
Flag comes down, Glenn, and a ball dropped by Hawley. Let's check the flag.
Excuse me, there was the one for Brandon Bridge late in
fourth
that
quarter.
game.
The only touchdown now in almost 8 quarters. Roughriders can change that in the last 2:16. And it looks like the penalty against Ottawa.
Offside, Ottawa. 5-yard penalty, first down Saskatchewan.
You're right, sense of urgency here for Kevin Glenn. And sacked in that first quarter, sacked 5 times against the Stampeders. Gone to the quick game here deep into this first half. Try and get the ball out of his hands quicker.
Got protection there, but ball, not sure who it was intended for. And Kevin didn't like the routes run.
I think you chalk that one up to missing Naaman Roosevelt. Those are the type of plays that a different player in that same position, and it just not the same coming out of the break.
Somebody didn't get to the right landmark, and it's 2nd and 10. 3-man front for the Red Blacks. It gets loud at TD Place. Called the draw. LaFrance broke the initial tackle, but not going very far. Big breeze, but the punt team's going to come on. They won't try a 56, 57-yarder.
Keenan LaFrance looked like he was almost tackled by the handoff here. Take a look at this again. Kevin Glenn tried to fake it and then reverse pivot there to give it to him, and then just as he retreats, I
think that was Zach Evans that was right there and forced LaFrance to try and jump out of his way. So McDuffie drops back. Bartel will try and hit this inside the 10. Outside the numbers, it cut to the 6. And McDuffie back just beyond the 11-yard line. Minute 44 remaining.
That's the 8th time this year that Josh Bartel has put the ball inside the 10-yard line on his kick, and they ran it out to the 12, but that punt again, well placed, and 144 now. Interesting position for Ryan Lindley. He wants to, continue to be aggressive, try and get at least one first down, get out with this 11-0 lead, but can't make a mistake here.
Needs a couple of first downs to avoid giving it back to the Riders in good field position. Powell the handoff inside with the flag. Prior to that carry, William Powell 10 for 88 here in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Jones can, even though sometimes they run that 3-down lineman, that 30 front, he's going to talk at halftime, I'm sure, with this defense and say, guys, the other half of run defense is just straight out want to. It's the 1-2 factor.
Saskatchewan, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And it's basically just getting 12 hats on the football, making sure that everybody is involved, whether it's that backside. And that's what they've got to try and fix, the Saskatchewan defense, in the second half. Not necessarily the play side that's the issue. It's when William Powell cuts back against the grain.
You see Leonard offside, 1st and 5. Powell cutting back again with the flag. He powered his way across the 20.
That time, Willie Jefferson did a real nice job on the cutback lane. Looks like this will go against Ottawa, but
Ottawa, number 56. Half the distance to goal. Repeat, first down.
Holding against Alex Mateus.
That's the angle that Willie Jefferson takes. If he goes like this, then he opens up the cutback lane, and this is a small part, but this is big on that Powell run. See, he wants to cut back against the grain, but Willie Jefferson had closed that cutback lane down, and the penalty pushes Ottawa way back, but this was good run defense. A few hats on the ball, and Jefferson in that cutback lane.
William Powell again, running free again, breaking tackles up over the 30. What a first half for number 29. 23 on the carry, and he's over 100 here in the first half of play.
So Jefferson cuts down that lane at the line of scrimmage. Now Powell is going to hit it this way, get down into that second level, and then cut it back. Now watch Powell. Now are the cutback lanes taken care of in the secondary? Here's the cutback. Overrun by Ed Gainey. Too high by Aguavin.
Rush set it down. Slant pattern caught by Spencer at the 41. And that should be another. Well, they're going to mark him just short of it. So it's going to be 2nd and a yard or so.
All about angles. And now Ryan Lindley has a chance to put some more points on the board.
Might have put Derek Taylor to work on yards after cutback for William Powell tonight. That for a longer play to Kreiner, incomplete. Now it's 3rd and a full yard, and that might test the mettle of Rick Campbell here on the sidelines.
Well, it's all automatically real close to field goal range if they don't get it for Saskatchewan. They're gonna.
He didn't blink, just kept them out there.
Yep.
3rd and a full yard. Now they move up. Lindley ahead. And he should have it. But didn't look like it early, but
sorry, Chris, and Guavin right over the top, almost met Lindley before he got started. Watch number 47.
Here's a first down.
Up over the top and just missed him.
The REDBLACKS should be able to kill the clock, but they want more. And overthrows Kreiner. In coverage was Casey Rogers.
Well, two things from Ryan Lindley. One is he's seeing it so much better than last week because he's thrown it to the right guy. Again, that Kreiner was open there briefly in the hole, and now the timing is at times a little bit off. He's still working on that. Kreiner's just back in the lineup this week from a long stay on the injured list. And there's not many reps in practice between those two.
Not many number 3 quarterbacks in their first year in the league get this opportunity. And he has been better in week 2. A cross-body throw that doesn't reach the target here. And when it looked like they could run out the clock, they throw 2 incompletions, and Saskatchewan will get the ball with a little bit of time left in the opening half.
Yeah, a little surprised on that play call on first down on that last set, that last 2 plays. With William Powell running as well as he is, I'm surprised he didn't go back to it.
Pressure on Maher, who got it away. Christian Jones, they get the no yards, and a return, and Jones is down into red-black territory. There are a couple of flags down, however, as he brings it back to the Ottawa 39.
You got to think the first flag is no yards. I mean, he was
sure
caught it in the air. That's a 15-yarder.
Maybe the REDBLACKS got greedy, though. They got the first downs, couple of them, chance to run out the clock. Instead, they thought about getting more points And instead, the Roughriders have the football. Let's see what field position they come up with 27 seconds on the clock.
No yards. Ottawa number 15. That penalty's declined. Illegal block, Saskatchewan. It's a 10-yard penalty during the return. First down, Saskatchewan.
I'm not sure why the no yards isn't factored in the equation, and I think that's what Chris Jones wants to know. Shouldn't they be offsetting?
You see Rob Baggy in there trying to, he's one of the captains, trying to get the explanation, and the other thing is that no yards call was closer than it initially looked.
Well, it's not going to change. Ball's in the 40. 27 seconds for Kevin Glenn to change this first half score. He's going to try and do it to hurry. Downfield incomplete. Looking for Hawley again, and they haven't been able to make that connection with any consistency here in the first half.
Winston Rose did a nice job at the top of that route with Hawley running down the field to not draw a penalty flag. He couldn't find the football, but he just stayed with the receiver, kept his hands down so there was no screening. He's in real good position.
Mark Nelson's defense has allowed 43 first half points in the last 6 games, including tonight. 2nd and 10. Glenn throwing for Rob Bagg, and it's knocked down by Adrian James.
Boy, he's a young guy, Adrian James. 5th start in a row, 6 overall for him this season. Getting a chance to play and make plays, and a little more experience, he may take that to the house.
It's the first time they called Rob Bagg's number tonight, and James there with the knockdown.
He knew it immediately, and when he watches the video tomorrow, he's going to say, next time I'm taking that one.
2nd 2 and out for the Roughriders. Bartell boots it. Spencer on the run. Flag comes down on that block. 47-yard punt. 7 seconds to burn off the clock here in the first half. That didn't start crisply for Ryan Lindley, but with the help of his running back, he was able to get on track here in the first half.
And you can bet unless Saskatchewan takes care of those cutback lanes in their run defense, Ottawa will
during the return,
to go to the
illegal block, Ottawa number 20. 10-yard penalty, first down.
J.P. Bolduc called for the block.
Continue to go to William Powell.
Of course, we'll see James Wilder Jr. tomorrow. He's been on fire at the running back spot, and Powell tonight 111 and a half. He's the first Ottawa running back, 3 consecutive 100-yard games since Josh Ronick back in 2003. That was another vintage of Ottawa football. But the best player in the opening half, number 29. 30 minutes in the books. And the Ottawa REDBLACKS keep Saskatchewan off the board. It's 11-0 as we head back to the studio. Here's Rod Matt-Mill.
Not necessarily Kevin Glenn's fault in the first half that they're not in the end zone. Wasn't all on him, although there were many last week that thought they waited. Chris Jones waited too long to get Brandon Bridge in the game against Calgary.
And the fact he did make a change last week made, I think, question fair from Matthew Shinetti. There's a return here. McDuffie nearly got loose, and up to the 45-yard line.
You know, I'm not sure it'll matter who plays quarterback if they don't stop the run defensively. William Powell, big first half for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Over 100 yards. That's 3 straight games over 100 for Powell. We still have a half to play here tonight. He is averaging 10 yards a crack when he gets the rock.
REDBLACKS get the ball first here in the second half as the Roughriders have opted for the win in the fourth quarter. Well, here's Powell off to a decent start. 4 to 5 yards on that first down carry to the 50. And we've mentioned it's now 3 consecutive 100-yard games for William Powell.
Climbing up the list. Jerome Messam can see 29 in his rearview mirror now. Last 3 games, 2.5. He's closing quickly.
Of course, missed all of last year. A torn Achilles tendon. 3-man rush. They'll screen to Powell. Gets 1 block. Gets into Rough Rider territory and gets a first down.
Boy, you mentioned off the top, Chris, that if Powell can get going like he is here tonight, it takes so much pressure off of Ryan Lindley. Now he can get that play action game going. Doesn't have a defensive lineman in his face. And keep in mind that reworked offensive line, that helps them as well in a big way.
He'll stay on the ground this time. No running room for Powell.
AC Leonard stepped into that tackle. He just has to be a little bit careful about what he did after the tackle.
I thought I saw something there.
Yeah, very close to drawing a penalty flag after the hit. Of course, Powell's legs wrapped up, and he almost looked like he went to kicking motion towards him. No flag.
Ed Geaney had stepped up as well on that tackle. 2nd and 10. Quick hitter. Sinopli's got it. Gets up and gets the first down to the 40. Good extra effort by Sinopoli, who has his 4th catch of the night. And 87 on the year.
He's got Gainey on his outside shoulder in his own defense, so he just sits down there. He sees Enoch Muamba step up as if he's got to stop a run gap and leaves his drop underneath, so wide open Brad Sinopoli.
Brad now within 22 yards of his 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season. Fake to Powell. The other way, LeBlanc. And off the edge, Patrick LeBlanc. Out of bounds around the 32-yard line. 8 more. Good-looking opening drive to get this second half going for Ottawa.
Well, and it's a progression. Jamie Elizondo now, offensive coordinator for Ottawa. He gets Powell going, and Powell's got those cutback lanes. So Chris Jones counters with a little more 4-man front. Now they're going to play 4 defensive linemen across the front. And what does Jamie Elizondo do? He goes to some screen game. Outside, get him outside the edge.
2nd and 2. Powell, big hole. Easy first down to the 24-yard line. And 8 more for William Powell.
Outstanding chess match going on right now between these two teams. Offensive coordinator and DC head coach in Chris Jones.
First and 10. Powell again. 4 yardage. Driving for another first down.
See, if you put 4 up front, Chris, you get 4 up front. Now you're basically trying to eat up all the blocks so that Mwamba could then scrape and make the tackle on William Powell. They still have to make sure number 10 is free to get there, but he gets scraped, and coming up the field to make the block is Jake Silas. Jake Silas gets on Mwamba, the middle linebacker. Now you're in trouble because that's your run stopper that is now having to deal with an offensive lineman before he can get to the tailback.
Sammy McGuavin made his 8th tackle. Powell running wild to the goal line. And he signaled touchdown. special night for Powell.
Real late touchdown call here, and I thought that he twisted and maybe got there. Let's take a look to see if he was down by contact before the ball crossed the plane. And I think he was. But it puts it on the 1 yard line.
All scoring plays under review. So in all likelihood, it's going to be 1st and goal at the 1. REDBLACKS broke the huddle.
The previous play was reviewed by the command center. The ball carrier was down at the 1 yard line. It'll be 1st down, Ottawa at the 1 yard line.
Now the REDBLACKS broke the huddle ready for the 2-point convert. They'll have to reconvene. They were going to go for 2, but now they've got to worry about going for the touchdown that they've yet to score. So play whistled in. More time comes off the clock, which is even better for the REDBLACKS if they do convert. Lindley, touchdown now, a flag down, and looked like there was a defensive hand in the neutral zone. Ryan Lindley in for the score, and preliminary indication offside.
Saskatchewan. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Well, I like the down block from Jake Hardy. Yeah, the receiver Jake Hardy, the 6'2", 210 receiver, number 8 to the bottom left corner of your screen. He just gets down on the legs of Ed Gainey and gets a good push off that left side for Ryan Lindley.
9 plays, 65 yards, and now they'll go for 2. Powell again. Look at that jump cut. Does he get there? No. Stopped short of the goal line on the unsuccessful 2-point convert, but it is a 17-0 REDBLACK lead. They go 9 plays, 65 yards. William Powell 5 for 36 on the TD drive. Fourth drive of at least 9 plays for the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
You know, they're involving the same guy in William Powell, a little Aubois on the screen, but they're doing it a little bit differently to start this second half. A little adjustment as Chris Jones went to the 4-down lineman. Now they went and tried to attack the edge and get outside of those 4 guys. Still getting blockers, O-linemen on their middle linebacker Enoch Mwamba. And another good drive for Ottawa.
Lindley has thrown a touchdown pass. Now scores a touchdown. It's Arizona Cardinal night here. Both Powell and Ryan Lindley, former Arizona Cardinals. 17-point REDBLACK lead. Christian Jones slowed up as he hit the 20. Won't reach the 25 as we head to the sidelines. Matthew Shinetti.
So much talk about William Powell tonight, CC, but on the other sideline, you think that the Roughriders are going to be looking for Trent Richardson to aid their running attack in a couple of weeks. Now, he's not with the team tonight. He's in Florida addressing some personal matters. The fact is, when you speak to the coaches, they say Richardson is trying to fit in, and frankly, he's just trying to learn the Canadian game. But he is gaining some friendly relationships on his team. Christian Jones actually came during practice and handed Richardson his number 33 jersey that he wore in the NFL. And by all accounts, Richardson is fitting in, but the Roughriders insist he's going to need time to understand all the nuances of the Canadian game. Guys?
A couple of Alabama guys taking care of each other. Christian Jones deferring to Trent Richardson. And Ed Fillion and Chris Jones trying to figure things out on defense.
Yeah, that's where their emphasis is right now, not on the running game, although a little running game of their own and time of possession will help.
That last play just put the Roughriders over 100 yards offense in the game, and Kevin Glenn had to rush that and threw it away.
Boy, he got sandwiched between 2 defenders. That rocked him a little bit because Some of these screens you want to let the defenders get upfield, but he had to reload.
Adrian James.
He lost the handle. Yeah, he lost the handle, Chris.
Maybe still a hand issue.
Yeah.
William Powell is more yardage than the Roughriders tonight so far. Three-man rush. Glenn stands in, throws a completion. Coming back for the football, Hawley. See where they mark forward progress. Had to get to the 45. They're going to mark him closer to the 43.
You know, he caught the ball right at the first down marker, which is right here. He caught the ball right there, but he took 2 full steps coming back. See, the ball was caught right on that first down line, but then 2 full steps to come back towards it, and they split the difference.
3rd and 2. Chris Jones thought about it and then sent Bartell and the punt unit on. Into the breeze here in the 3rd quarter. And it's Deontay Spencer, man. Enoch Mwamba led the wave downfield for a special team tackle. Touchdown for the REDBLACKS on their first possession and a 17-point lead. From mic'd up players to behind the scenes action, it's CFL Wired.
What you say?
Gotta love it.
How much weight do you think is on his bench right now?
Coach, get him out of the game if he's not having a good game. They don't want to play.
I always go with tails. Tails never fails. It's ahead. Oh, we won.
Catch you Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, across the TSN network. REDBLACKS go back on offense, 1-2 and out tonight. That game on the opening series. Since then, this guy's taken over. And Powell crashes up to the 35. 7 more to his totals on the night.
Jamie Elizono's going to keep with it.
Second and 3. That shift there back toward 40-yard line. First down.
You know, and it's not Otha Foster, although, you know, he's that adjusting linebacker. I'm wondering about Jeff Knox Jr. maybe getting a little more playing time on defense. Just a bigger body at 225 and 6'2" to come in at linebacker, maybe help Enoch Mwamba on this run defense. Foster's a cover guy. He's got to go out with the receivers.
McGuavin up to 9 tackles on the night. Willie Jefferson couldn't reach him, and E.C. Rogers bounces Powell out. 8 more on first down, and that run protection on first down has been impressive.
Well, and they can't scrape to the hole. I mean, McGuavin is trying to scrape to the hole, but he has to bubble around the O-lineman, and it's allowing William Powell to be able to make those jump cuts back there, have the patience to do it because they're just not reestablishing the line of scrimmage.
Second and short, right back to it. And across the 50. Should be right at the first down stick.
You mentioned James Wilder and Jerome Messam last week against Saskatchewan. It's getting colder, that run game. Alex Green.
140 in BC last week.
140 in BC. Jeremiah Johnson running well right now as well. His middle linebackers now have got to get some old school going. Back to where you're popping the pads, and you know when you got your hands on your waist like that defensively and you're basically sucking in air, that you're starting to get fatigued. And when you start to get fatigued is when you start to miss tackles. And not that, you know, it hasn't even been missed tackles that's been the issue for Saskatchewan defensively trying to stop William Powell in this run game. It's been those cutback lanes, but they haven't found the answer just yet.
So just short. James Wilder Jr. with 190 rushing yards in a game this year. That's the season best in the run department. He did it against the Eskimos. Powell's going to challenge that tonight. So 3rd and inches. Lindley ahead, has it. And there was concern coming into the game for the Red Blacks without Sir Vincent Rogers, without John Gott, without Nolan McMillan, and with some young bucks up front. Evan Johnson, number 9 draft pick, 2017 at left guard for the first time.
Yeah, Jake Silas, who's a backup, moved in for Sir Vincent Rogers. And
from right tackle to left tackle.
Right, and Alex Matias moving from guard over to center. So Brian Chu has been on that whiteboard going, okay, you're in new positions, some backups playing, here's how we're going to do it.
Jake Hardy on the backfield, and he gets to the 54. Couple for the Oakville product.
Now that's a great call by Jamie Elizondo, because even though it's only a 3-yard gain, it's a tendency breaker. Go to Powell, keep going to Powell, and then Powell's the decoy, and little run off the opposite side to Jake Hardy. Now that plants a seed in the defenders. They have to think about that next time they see him, and they go back to Powell.
Three-man rush, quick hitter, but pass behind the intended target, Sinopoli.
Well, in fairness to Ryan Lindley, it's been a while since he's thrown it.
Yeah.
They just keep handing it off here and moving the chains, and this one, yeah, just a little bit behind the target.
And would have been short of the first down, but they've managed to own the clock here in the 3rd quarter. And now from midfield, Brett Maher.
Okay, here we go.
Jones from the 13. Riders could use a return, and they're going to get one into the open field, and gone. Can Pruneau catch him? Doesn't look like it. Touchdown, Christian Jones. 97 yards. And like that, the Roughriders get back in it.
Well, had that big game when he first got in the lineup. Christian Jones was nicked in that one, had to miss a couple, then got back, came into the game 2nd in punt return average, up there amongst the leaders in kick return average, and boy, did the Riders need this one.
Previous long was 40, but he takes this back, 97 for the touchdown. 26 doesn't look bad on him.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks fast. 26 looks fast on him.
Red Blacks jump. Rapina puts it through. They'll apply the offside on the kickoff. But Christian Jones has put a little fire on that Rough Rider bench.
Well, you never know where you're going to get the spark. You mentioned time of possession. Ottawa owning it in the
offside,
3rd.
Ottawa number 44. 5-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff. Convert's good.
Tank Reed offside. Extra point good. Christian Jones off and running for a big Saskatchewan touchdown. Ninth kick return touchdown in the league this year. Suits the first by a Rider.
Yeah, to get that middle return and to have success on it, you got to get the gunners. And the 2 gunners are picked up nicely here by Denzel Radford and Kevin Francis. They get the key blocks on the gunners, then they leave it to Jones the rest of the way.
Who getting that 3-8? Who getting that 3-8?
A 10-point game as Rapina kicks it off. Here's Quincy McDuffie taking back a couple in his career. Not going to do it here. He gets swarmed before he reaches the 30. So it's Red Black football when we come back with the lead now. Just him. Red Blacks with the football. Let's hit to the sidelines. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Well, CC, clearly Chris Jones took exception to my question about if he was going to evaluate the quarterback position in the second half, but really the question about Brandon Bridge and Canadian quarterbacks in general has been raised over the last 3 weeks, especially after Brandon Bridge had that game winner in Hamilton. And when I spoke to him during that game, many people remember that he advocated for the ratio to be extended to the quarterback position. So if a Canadian does play, it counts towards the ratio. And he has support in that from Brad Sinopoli, who of course was drafted as a quarterback to the Canadian Football League. And when we spoke to Sinopoli yesterday, he completely agreed with Bridge and his point of view, saying so much that, you know, Sinopoli and Danny Brannigan, who played for the Argos, really paved the way. But guys like Andrew Buckley and everything that's going on right now in Saskatchewan shows that Canadian quarterbacks really are on the up, and that the ratio should be extended to Canadians, guys.
Well, that would be the easiest fix. It really would be. Just if Brandon Bridge starts, then Brandon Bridge counts as one of your 7 Canadian starters. I mean, that would be an easy one, and everyone that we've talked to in different organizations across the league are not sure why that rule's in place anyway. To add a spot, that's a different discussion, one for the off-season for a Canadian quarterback, but
Roughriders jumped. There was some flinching on that offensive line. See how they sort this out.
Question for me, though, Chris. Kevin Glenn's 12 of 19, 92 yards and an interception. And is Brandon Bridge looked at by Chris Jones as an alternative if Glenn is struggling? Not that it's his fault. And let's see if they can build off the momentum of a big return by Christian Jones.
He's 12 of 19, 127 when he got pulled last week under similar circumstances.
And it's not even that he's playing poorly in this one. You got to give credit to the Ottawa defense, and it is one-dimensional, as the panel mentioned in the halftime break. All of a sudden,
procedure, Ottawa, number 64. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
All of a sudden, Brandon Bridge is warming up on cue.
Saw the Roughriders kind of stepped into the neutral zone but stepped back, but you saw Evan Johnson come out of his stance, so he gets called, and it's 2nd and 15. Suddenly the momentum turning in the game, and again the Roughriders will have the win in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 15. Lindley going to go deep, and it's incomplete. Matthew Shinetti had a shot at the football, but unable to come up with it.
So he's caught one, dropped one. Is that what you're saying? Because I saw him catch one early in the year.
Didn't lay out for that.
No, he put that on Twitter the moment he made the big catch. I'm kidding, of course, with Matthew, but just just off the ball is your friend.
He did mention he still had the mark on the jacket from the last catch.
Well, he's got another mark.
Don't catch with the body, Matthew. Diving punt, Christian Jones. This time is surrounded and brought down at the 33-yard line. Kevin Glenn's on the clock. We presume that. Well, under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Brandon Bridge actually took the warm-up jacket off to just start to loosen up a little bit. And I think to get Chris Jones, give Kevin Glenn another series for sure to see if he can build off that spark from Christian Jones on the return. The defense just did. They got the 2-0, got the ball back for Kevin Glenn. Now let's see if he continues with this momentum.
Slide down there. Second 2-0 for the Red Blacks, and now the Roughriders will try to capitalize. Kevin Glenn in pursuit of win number 100. Trying to stoke a comeback, and Keenan LaFrance ahead to the 39 as 5-6. We'll call it 6, 2nd and 4.
Chris Jones and a lot of coaches call this 2nd and manageable. 2nd and manageable, 2nd and 5 or less. A lot of plays you can run here.
Haven't cracked the code of Mark Nelson's defense yet. And that one incomplete and was in a dangerous area. Winston Rose looked like he had a shot at it. Jonathan Rose in tight coverage down the rail.
Antoine Grant, I believe, ran an out and just stopped his route. Kevin Glenn thought he was going to continue on the out, and he just planted in the ground and almost ran just a straight curl. That's the Naaman Roosevelt position. Yeah, fair to say they miss him.
Bartell in the final minute kicks it away. Deontay Spencer from the 31. And a freeze, but Moore, he hit a wall. Big hit, Spencer Moore. 13th special teams tackle on the year for the McMaster product.
I had a good chat with Spencer Moore before the game, and he had a smile. He said, you know, these games against Ottawa are always close. Last year we had 2 real close games against him. And I'm looking forward to getting out there. And boy, that's a big special teams hit. Good, clean hit. Shoulder first. Didn't duck his chin. Nice hit by Spencer Moore.
Back to Powell. Huge hole, right side. First down up to the 52-yard line.
I'm going to steal a Matt Dunnigan right here. They're gutting him now. They're just gutting him.
That just set a Red Black rushing record for a single game. Jonathan Williams had 180 back on October 3rd, 2014. But Powell's just eclipsed that at 184. Again, the season high 190. And he busts a tackle, and he may be at 190 now. Final play of the quarter. 6 more. He does hit 190. So James Wilder Jr.'s got company for at least the time being. Through 3 quarters. A touchdown for Ryan Lindley. A return for Christian Jones. 17-7. Ottawa.
Bridge that maybe just athletically can create, because the timing is off. Saw it on Antoine Grant, that attempt to move the chains the last series.
2nd and 4, quickly out of Lindley's hands. Sinatwe's got another 2nd down conversion catch. And is that going to get him to 1,000 on the year?
Closing in on 1,000, closing in on 100 catches. No Ottawa receiver has done that.
5th catch on the night, so he's at 88. And 988 coming in, 989. Little hitch to Spencer in the flat. He takes a pop at the 40 from Javon Johnson. Short gain on that play. Maybe 1.5 yards to 2. Wind doesn't, well, it just seems to be gusting a little bit, just as I was going to say, doesn't seem to be as much of a factor. As picks up again in the face of Lindley and the Red Blacks here in the 4th quarter. Again, another quick hitter. Ellingson brings it down. Clutch catch. Down at the 20, they move the chains. Now they're in field goal range.
See, unless you've given up almost 200 yards rushing, you don't have your middle linebacker that close to the line of scrimmage. He's going to drop under there and then react to the run. But Mwamba is so concerned with Powell. He's real tight to the line, and that's exactly where they throw it, just in behind him.
4th catch for Ellingson tonight. There's the guy they're worried about this time. Leonard met him in the backfield, and they get him for a loss.
I was going to say, Chris, A.C. Leonard, he just said, I've had enough. I mean, he didn't even look at Lindley. He just went after Powell. He went straight to him. Now everybody knows in the park they're going to keep handing 29 and you saw Saw AC Leonard go flying right by him. Slowed him down and let his teammates get there.
Both ends come off the edge. First Leonard and Willie Jefferson with the tackle. 2nd and 15. They're coming. Lindley to the outside. Catch made by Ryder. He dropped the ball. Javon Johnson's got it. Jerron Kreider trying to make a move. Gives the ball up. And the fumbles that have cost Ottawa so often this year re-emerge here. The 12th fumble, most in the league, without contact. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition. Get noticed like a pro. Well, the 11-year vet, former Red Black, scoops up a gift from Jerron Kreider.
Yeah, that's a giveaway, not a takeaway, but either way, the Riders needed it. Took the potential of at least 3 off the board, maybe even 7.
Roughriders +10, second best in the giveaway, taking away category. Keenan LaFrance, Antoine Pruneau from the safety spot moves up. And the Red Blacks are -8 in that category, which is second worst. And one of the reasons they are 5-8-1 and not a better record considering how this defense is playing and how the offense has played for much of the year.
Nelson's got a great game plan tonight. It's been executed very well.
Saskatchewan 6 of 14 on second down conversions. Glenn, pocket collapse, got it out there. LaFrance first down. Tank Reed the tackle, but a clutch catch by Keenan LaFrance to move the chain.
Yeah, and a big play for Kevin Glenn to stay in this game because he gets a drive here. He takes it probably the distance. If he doesn't, if that's a 2-and-out, and Keenan LaFrance doesn't get the first there, you might have seen Brandon Bridge. Went through his progressions, got it out to his check down man on the sideline.
Second first down of the second half. Kevin Glenn, and it's caught. Jerron Carter with the catch. Pruneau brings him down, but they're into Ottawa territory at the Red Black 50.
Corey Tyndall can't believe it. Quick slant here by Jerron Carter. And real good close right on time by the Red Black corner. But Carter wins the fight.
Strong hands to maintain possession. Fourth catch of the game for Carter. First down, Red Black 49. Glenn going to take a shot downfield. Looking for Carter. Got him. Jerron Carter's out around the 7-yard line. And he may have tweaked the ankle again.
Yeah, it looks like he did. Just as Glenn was getting something going with one of his reliable targets in Jerron Carter. Back-to-back throw and catches from Glenn to Carter. But as he comes down here on the sideline, looks like he jams it a little bit.
43 yards, biggest play of the game on offense for Saskatchewan. Tyndall had his hands full last week with Darvin Adams. And back-to-back catches for Carter against the young corner. But that right ankle needs attention for the second time in 3 weeks. Get in the action this season with CFL Fantasy. Build your ultimate squad, challenge your friends, compete to win weekly prizes. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy to sign up.
So Jerron Carter's gone to the sideline, has to be there now for 3 plays. Vernon Adams is in at quarterback, so Chris Jones has done this before, but he's taken out Kevin Glenn right when he got in a rhythm. We'll see if Vernon Adams can get this across the goal line.
Glenn 77 yards passing on this drive alone, 92 prior to this drive. First down, LaFrance takes the handoff, breaks the tackle, and touchdown! the former Red Black, punches it in, and the Roughriders right back in it.
First, second, and third effort from Keenan LaFrance just would not be denied. There was no hole to run through. He fights through Kevin Brown's tackle attempt. 2-3 other Red Blacks. Wills his way into the end zone. We got to finish.
Pena puts it through. 3-point game.
Get noticed like a pro in the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition.
Well, scrum after the convert. A flag has been thrown. Derek Dennis was in it for Saskatchewan. Some chirping from a couple of Red Blacks. I believe Winston Rose was one of them. Who gets the flag? And with the wind at the back of Saskatchewan, if it's against Ottawa on a kickoff, valuable field position here with lots of time left.
That's my O-line. That's my O-line.
After the successful convert, we have major foul, face mask, Saskatchewan number 69. That's a 15-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff. Saskatchewan will kick off.
So it does go against Bruce Campbell of Saskatchewan, and the coach's reaction tells you all you need to know.
It's such a fine line between winning and losing games, especially this time of year.
So the kickoff comes all the way back to the 20.
You just can't have before or after the whistle penalties in tight football games down the stretch. We'll see if this comes back to haunt them. There's Campbell right there in the middle of your screen. Escalated after that.
Here's Deontay Spencer. And the return up over the 45-yard line to the 48. So Ryan Lindley back on the field for the Red Blacks. More heat on him now. Decent night, 160 yards passing, but 185 from his running back. But the game in the balance, and they need first downs and more points in all likelihood. Huge game for both teams. Neither one a lock for a playoff spot. Double clutch there, and he throws it in the turf, and that might have been a good thing with Creston Butler lurking.
Loading up the line of scrimmage, I believe that is Jeff Knox Jr. taking a gap, so Chris Jones decides to try and talk Jamie Elizondo out of running on first down. Now they got him in a second and long, plays to the Rider defensive hands.
So Moamba checks back in. 2nd and 10. Rain and wind in the face of the Red Blacks here in the fourth quarter. Pressure on, and they get home. Willie Jefferson guns down another quarterback. His 8th sack of the year. League leader in combined sacks and pressures.
When you're in 2nd and short, that gap right here is too big to handle against the run. That's been the issue for Saskatchewan all game. But when you're in 2nd and long, now it plays into the hands of the pass rushers. And Willie Jefferson, inside move, little bit of a swim on Jake Silas, and he gets home.
Hard approach. Not a good one, but a good bounce. Christian Jones fields it cleanly at the 30, and then gets drilled by Antoine Bruneau around the 35.
Hey, man, don't stop, man.
He's been a dominant player all season long, and Willie Jefferson just makes a big play to keep the momentum on the side of the Riders, who now trail by 3. Shot road to the Grey Cup continues immediately following this game. Alouettes and Stampeders gets the action, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. I think that's next when we finish this one. Kevin Glenn back to work after kick-starting the last drive and throwing deep here for Hawley, and almost picked off. Where did Adrian James come from? Looked like Hawley was in behind coverage.
They roll the coverage where Adrian James, the linebacker, normally will come from the middle, and they roll Antoine Pruneau up into the line. So now you've got Pruneau close to the line of scrimmage where the linebackers normally play. It's a change up from Mark Nelson. That's almost the second interception tonight for James. Should have had both.
We're going to get a challenge here, Suits. I saw the gesture from Hawley to the bench. They went to the tablet, and Chris Jones has elected this as the spot he wants to use his challenge. I think he felt Winston Rose made contact with Hawley prior to the arrival of the football.
Yeah, I was going to say that had nothing to do with Adrian James.
Saskatchewan is challenging that there was defensive pass interference on their receiver, number 88. We'll review the play.
Had nothing to do with Adrian James. He just played the football, was free in the middle. It's right here, and let's see if there's any contact between Winston Rose on the corner cut. Little blind turn, speed turn.
Not sure there's anything there, is there?
No, I don't see any pass interference there.
Hawley gestured right away, and then they went to the tablet. They looked at it, decided this was worth the challenge.
Unless, Chris, they hit the heel. If they hit the heel, then that could be ruled accidental pass interference. We've heard that before. But the fact that Adrian James got his hand on it may change.
Is there any stumble by Hawley?
No, not when the ball's arriving. I'd be shocked if this was changed.
After review, there is no defensive pass interference on the play. The ruling on the field stands. It will be second down, Saskatchewan.
Well, neither team has a challenge left. Both unsuccessful tonight.
Just to say, big down here.
Second and 10. Halfway through the fourth quarter. Three-man rush. Glenn over the middle. He's got a completion to Antoine Grant. Big catch into red-black territory.
Well, that's a big catch by Antoine Grant. The timing has not been great between these two here tonight, between Kevin Glenn and Grant. Grant again replacing Naaman Roosevelt, but he makes a big catch for his quarterback, a little bit behind him and high, but he's patient, brings it in. Big play on second and long.
Second catch for Grant, 36 yards on the gain. Glenn goes over 200 on the night. First down, stands in. He's looking for Rob Bagg. Back to the football and got it. Big contingent from Kingston here to cheer him on tonight. And Rob Bagg has his first catch, a 30-yard grab.
Double move, I thought, by Rob Bagg based on watching Kevin Glenn in the pump fake. Let's take a look. Yeah, a little bit of an out, and then he's going down the sideline and has to fight back at the back shoulder throw from Kevin Glenn. And even if Rick Campbell thought there was a push-off from Rob Bagg, he doesn't have a challenge.
Kevin Glenn in the end zone. Receiver slipped on the play. Antoine Grant to the ball, sails incomplete.
Slipped and ran a different route than Kevin Glenn threw. Grant ran an in, and Glenn threw a seam.
Big play, 2nd and goal. From the Red Black Eat. Glenn quickly out of his hands, but batted down, incomplete. Adrian James gets a hand on it, makes another big play. And they'll have to settle for 3.
But settle for 3 to tie the game. Not necessarily a bad thing with Saskatchewan in this 4th quarter with the momentum. And once again, Adrian James with his hands on the football. Three knockdowns tonight for sure.
They trailed by 17. Christian Jones got it started on the comeback trail. And Trapinha has tied it with 5:14 left in the 4th. Locked at 17. And more football tomorrow. Another doubleheader. Argonauts and Ticats will wrap up their season series. And then it's Winnipeg and the Eskimos trying to get back into the win column, coming off the bye. Hope you join us tomorrow. Looking forward to both games.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler Trapinha, a big part of both games last year. One game a 1-point win, the other in overtime. And was instrumental in both those games, winning kick in overtime here in Ottawa.
Redblacks start on the ground where they've had the most success tonight, but swarming to the football. First Mwamba, then Aguavin, and Powell contained for 2.
This is how you play the run defense. If the cutback lanes are there, just string it out. Powell's going to hit this, and watch how the defenders, go ahead and run it, guys. Watch how the defenders are just going to slow play it. Slow play, go long line of scrimmage. Don't give him that cutback lane. Mwamba's almost overrun it there, but he cuts back and gets his hands on and makes the tackle.
Reiner and Rhymes have checked in on 2nd and 8. And that does not reach the target. 2 and out. Incomplete, intended for Ellingson.
And all of a sudden, Ryan Lindley looks like a little bit more like he did last week than he did for 3 quarters here. Rushing the throw. Didn't have his hands on the lace or his fingers on the lace. You could see how wide open his eyes were there. This game getting tight is affecting him.
Maher's boot into the wind. Get the no yards penalty as he's brought down at the 40. Kevin Glenn has bounced back. Said sometimes offense is like hitting. You can go through slumps. Looks
no
like
yards.
He's coming out.
Ottawa, number 15. 15-yard penalty. First down, Saskatchewan.
No yards against Keelan Johnson. Kevin Glenn has passed for 143 yards in this quarter.
And had, I believe, 92 in the first 3. He is poised to get to 100 wins if he can find a way to finish the comeback here tonight.
Man, he is tied with, has won a lot of those games in Ottawa. Tom Clements swings it out to the near side for Grant. Under these conditions, that wasn't the easiest catch. Wet football taken low, but Bakari Grant moves it across the midfield stripe.
Yeah, in fairness to both quarterbacks, they're fighting the elements a little bit. It's been raining in this second half, and temperatures dropped here, but a couple of good throws in that last series from Kevin Glenn.
The Redblacks had to play in adverse conditions last week in Winnipeg. 2nd and 3. And on a roll, pass is caught And Grant secures it at the 50 for a first down.
That might be one of Kevin Glenn's best throws tonight. He was running away from pressure, and it was chasing him down. It didn't catch the number, but watch on the run. This is not a strength for Kevin Glenn necessarily. Likes to throw from the pocket, likes to throw on time. He was getting tracked down there. And
Jonathan Newsom,
the former Rider, put a lot of pressure on him. He still completed the first down throw.
REDBLACKS are going to look at that Christian Jones punt return and the Jerron Kreiner fumble if this one gets away from them. First and 10. Couple of pumps, not there. Throws it away.
Smart move. Veteran move.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. We've hit the 3-minute warning. Roughriders have fought back to tie it here in the 4th.
Part 2 of our doubleheader is just about to get underway. Drew Willie starting for the Alouettes tonight in Calgary. Viewers on TSN 1 can watch the start of that game. And viewers on TSNs 3, 4, and 5 will be sent to that game as soon as we conclude things in Ottawa. All tied. Back to Chris and Glenn.
Well, we've got 2:40 and maybe more to go here. 2nd and 10. Kevin Glenn out of his hands to Bakari Grant, but Antoine Pruneau hung on to make sure Grant could not proceed to first down territory. It'll be 3rd and 4. And does Gravina come out with the wind at his back for a 52-yarder? Well, they're going to send Bartel out to punt. Would have been 51 as they mark it at the 44, but they're going to play the field position game with 2.5 to go, and maybe sensing that the defense has finally saw Brian Lilly and William Powell. Bartel puts it into the end zone. McDuffie going to try and come out. He won't. 1 point Rough Rider lead. First lead of the night for Saskatchewan.
Quincy McDuffie just caught the wind, and he just misplayed it a little bit, didn't catch it cleanly, and now he's in trouble. He's given up the go-ahead point. But there's still lots of time for Ryan Lindley and William Powell.
Well, the silver lining is they do get out to the 35 instead of maybe starting inside their own 5-yard line, but they now trail for the first time tonight. Lindley, Kreiner. Kreiner brought down after 4 yards. Good tackle by the safety Jeff Hecht.
2:06 is still time to keep Powell involved. Especially in that screen game we saw in the 3rd quarter.
Second and 6. Flag comes down. Powell out of the backfield, but play has been stopped, and it's a procedure call against Ottawa.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 53. 5-yard penalty.
Matt Albright and Chris, there was movement on the defensive line. The defense for Saskatchewan, you're on the D line, you can move around. You can shift, and they shift inside. AC Leonard, I believe, did. Marabere, I believe, was in the interior, and they moved around, and that pulled Matt Albright off.
Second time tonight, one of the young guards for Ottawa has moved like that as a reaction to the movement of the Rough Rider front. 3-man rush, and the pass is short hopped. Didn't get to Rhymes. 3rd down. And the punt team will come on. 1:49 to go. And Rick Campbell not going to put it all on the next play. Three consecutive 2-and-outs. Decent kick by Maher. And Jones hit at the 36-yard line. Dan West down in a hurry. Roughriders a couple of first downs away from a huge comeback win.
Can you run the ball when everyone in the park knows you want to run the ball? Keenan LaFrance can eat up the rest of this clock. And he'll have that deja vu feeling. Maybe not the same numbers as he had in the Eastern final against the Edmonton Eskimos, but he can eat up a minute 40 with that same feeling.
There he is. He knew whose number was going to get called, and he still turns it up to the 45-yard line. 8 on first down.
Yeah, now with 8 on first down, you can go right back to him.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Ottawa, that's why, by the way, Rick Campbell wanted to punt that ball away. He had 1:49 and a timeout, so he uses one now. But that first down production by Keenan LaFrance, monster play, 8-yard gain.
Just going through the Ottawa losses this year: by 4 to Calgary, by 1 to Toronto. They lost by 2 to Edmonton. Lost by 3 to the Argos, 3 to Winnipeg. Lost by 7 to Edmonton. 4 against Hamilton.
Quincy McDuffie is cheering on his defense right now.
Second and 2. Inside, first down, a big one for LaFrance, the former Red Black, who has a touchdown in this game with a couple of critical runs.
Well, the Red Blacks loaded up the line of scrimmage. We all knew who was going to get the football here. You have to call this play if you're Chris Jones or if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Stephen McAdoo. You've got to call that play. Second and 2. You go to your run game, you grind the clock here, and you go right back to it here again. Ottawa's got to try and rip it out.
France this time corralled, and it'll set up second and long. Neither team could afford a penalty after the whistle now.
Kevin Glenn is trying to signal to the Saskatchewan sideline to run the ball again.
Keep the clock rolling.
Brings in the tight end, Spencer Moore.
Roughriders stay here. They'll play Toronto next week, so a 10-day Eastern stay for them. Ottawa's headed west to Vancouver. After the BC game, they'll stay a few days in Saskatoon before the rematch. LaFrance on second down. And again, the stop. So Ottawa's going to get the ball back. Won't be a lot of time left. And an injured player, which would stop the clock. So they're trying to get Spencer Moore up to the sidelines before the clock does stop. So McDuffie goes back. And he needs a return to feel a little bit better about how this last couple of minutes has gone.
Well, he doesn't have to get it out of his end zone this time unless this one is launched by Josh Bartel.
He's
got the win.
They might not mind giving up a point here for field position.
Yeah, exactly.
Bartel won't want to get it that deep, you wouldn't think. Tumbling punt. Duffy secures it, but he does break one tackle, and now brought down at the 18-yard line.
Boy, isn't confidence an interesting beast? I mean, it doesn't take much. Duffy misjudges the kick in the end zone to give up the go-ahead point, and then was so nervous on that last kick, he just wanted to make the catch and secure it. So now Ryan Lindley's looking at a long field in front of him.
They need 50 yards to get into decent range. The wind again has kind of switched here, so not driving in the face of Ottawa. but they need a big chunk of real estate in a hurry. And Lindley looking downfield, jump ball, intercepted. Javon Johnson comes up with it and walks out of bounds. I don't think that ball had been whistled down, but it is now. Javon Johnson's going to secure it with his second interception and a comeback win for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, this one's going to hurt Rick Campbell and these Ottawa REDBLACKS, who trying to catch Toronto in the standings in the East, had control of this game for 3 quarters until Christian Jones had the big return, and then all of a sudden Old Mo switched teams.
Chris Jones stuck with Kevin Glenn. I think a lot of people were expecting a quarterback change. He left his starter in, and Kevin Glenn is going to record win number 100 of his 17-year career. Kevin Glenn with 100. Ryan Lindley still looking for number 1. In the books, Kevin Glenn takes a knee and wins 100. And the Roughriders back over 500 at 7-6. And Ottawa now falls to 5-9-1.